All right, usually it takes us a little bit longer to get started, but my guests that I have on tonight are quite prepared and ready to go, so we aren't going to waste any time. I'm excited to get started with a game of Commander, but first of all, we have to do our introductions. So I'm Azoreign, your friendly blue mage. You may call me Azo. Thank you for watching tonight. Make sure to follow me on everything you see over here. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. We are very close to our 2,000 subscriber goal. We'll be doing a big giveaway. And if you want to find out more about that, make sure to go over and follow me on Twitter or X, whatever you prefer to call it. Same name as you see on screen at Azoreign. I think there's an underscore on X. Someone might have taken the name, but go ahead and find me over there, and that's where you will find out more information about the giveaway once we hit 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube. So if you would like to, please make sure to subscribe. And if you want to find out how you can be on a streamed game such as the one you're about to watch, or if you just want to join my Discord and you can talk to all the guests that are on tonight, you can talk to me directly. We like to just talk about upcoming cards, spoilers. We give deck advice. We just talk about the state of the game. So if you want to head over there, join my Discord, and just find out more information, again, how you can be on stream, or if you just want to be a part of a Magic community. Link should be in the description of my channel and this video. But without further ado, we are going to jump into the spell table and enter the Commander Crucible and get started. So let's go ahead and unmute ourselves.
Absolutely no off-turn interaction.
How's everyone doing tonight? We are live and ready to go.
I'm doing all right, Azo. How about you? How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm excited for the return of the Musing Melodist. We have a great opponent, as always, in Raikou Rider, and a new face to the channel in Discord, and known as Little Wing, but on Spell Table here, there are some numbers and capitals in that name, so we're going to go ahead and just refer to you as Little Wing. Is that okay with you in the bottom left corner?
I didn't have time to change.
That's perfectly fine. I'm excited. We got Taco Tony in chat. We got Captain Poland in chat. How's it going, guys? Yeah, I have not looked at my starting hand, and it looks like you guys are still shuffling. So as soon as you guys are ready, I can shuffle the turn order. We can look at our starting hands, and we can get started. We don't like to mess around and take things slow. When we're ready to go, I like to just get into the game. I'm excited. I've been thinking about playing Magic all day, and I just wanna play some Magic, you know.
Well, I'm excited too. I'm excited too because it's pretty rare for me to be able to make it to the channel because of my work schedule, and I needed to take some PTO this week, so I am off. I am off all week.
Oh, nice.
And my LGS is closed for a few days this week because of construction.
I did see that on their social pages that they were doing construction. I didn't think that they would be completely closed. That sucks.
Yeah, they are completely closed for 3 days. They're gonna be reopening Thursday. I wanted to do something with Foundations.
Yeah.
I just could not get anything together. There is one Foundations card in here that you will hopefully see.
Foundations is pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of stuff for a lot of different decks.
It's the best thing they've done probably since I've been playing, which hasn't been that long. But
yeah, there's a reason why the collector boxes have been going up, not down. I ended up getting one extra one, like beyond what I usually do because of because of how good the set wound up being.
Yeah, we actually split a collector's box. We each bought 2 packs from the box, and I pulled an anime foil Day of Judgment. That was my biggest hit from the weekend.
I think the biggest one I got was the anime, the Black Vampire.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The Cutthroat. That's the best thing I got. I did not get any fracture foils, unlike with Duskmorn. I did get a fracture foil, Green Overlord.
Nice.
I don't think I bought any sealed Duskborn.
Well, while you guys are still shuffling down in the bottom portion of the frames, I just want to shout out, I did log into MTG Arena today just to kind of see how things were going, and apparently I'm super excited that I'm about to sneeze, and I'm going to mute myself so you don't hear this. Nope, we avoided the sneeze. Okay, so there is apparently a very good, so believe this or not, it is a blue-white Reanimator deck that is making the rounds in Standard, and I built it, I used my wild cards, and I played it in Ranked. The highest mana cost is 3, it's got 20 lands, and it's got a bunch of white removal, or sorry, white reanimation that returns a creature of converted mana 3 or less, and so the deck plays, you mill yourself. So it's like draw 2 cards, discard 1, look at the top 3, put 1 into your hand, put the rest in the graveyard, and it's centered around, if I can remember the name, it's the, what's it called, Rye? You would know. It's the eye, the big eyeball from Duskmorn.
Abhorrent Oculus?
Yeah.
That probably explains why that card is almost $40.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. Abhorrent Oculus. So it's 3 mana. As an additional cost to cast, you exile 6 cards from your graveyard. It's a 5/5 with flying. But at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you manifest Dread. So you look at the top 2. 1, it becomes a face down creature that you can flip up anytime if it's a creature. So you play, there's a bunch of white reanimation, like really cheap. So you basically want to discard the Abhorrent Oculus, and then you reanimate it for like a single mana. So it's a bunch of like, you know, 1 blue, look at the top 2, discard 1, 1 white, reanimate Abhorrent Oculus, pass your turn, you immediately get a free creature, and then the other creature is, let's see if I can spell it right. It's where is it? The other creature is Haughty Djinn. So this is like the other card that you combo with it. So it's a bunch of, like I said, cheap reanimation, cheap draw, and then the Abhorrent Oculus finds the Haughty Djinns that you can turn face up at any time to either be a really good blocker, or you can just turn it face up and now you have a flying 10/4. And this also makes your instants and sorceries cost less. And this deck, it was wild that, like, you know, I'm playing this and it's like, it doesn't play like white,
like Azorius.
Yeah, it plays like a black reanimator deck, and it's so fast. Like I said, the most expensive cards in the deck are the Haughty Djinn and the Abhorrent Oculus, both being 3 mana. Everything else is under 3 mana. So it's wild. It's super fast. I played it only like 3 or 4 games, and I was winning games by like turn 4 because of just like how much power was in that deck. It's crazy. It's pretty cool. But it looks like both Little Wing and Rye are shuffled up, so I will stop talking about Standard, and I'm going to shuffle the turn order 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that didn't move. We're going to do it one more time. 3. Alright, looks like our Musing Melodist will start, and I will end us. Now, what we like to do here, if you want, you certainly don't need to. When you start the game, you can introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your deck, or you can just play a land and pass, whatever you want to do. I am going to keep my starting hand. That looks good. Yep, I'm going to keep that.
I had to mulligan my first hand, but
yeah, I used my free mulligan, but I'm gonna run this.
I have a 7, but I'm not super happy with it.
Same. But we'll see what the first few turns bring, I guess.
Well, you are starting, so did we lose Little Wing down in the bottom right?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay, do you like your starting hand?
Yep. I'm good.
All right, I'm just gonna make sure to turn you up just a little bit. And it's so hard for me to remember. So it's no secret that well, funny enough, I actually know all 3 of these opponents in real life. And I've never played with Little Wing on stream. It's their first stream appearance. And it is very hard to re-engineer my brain to not call them by their real name. So I'm going to try very hard to not name drop them. But
It's okay. Thank you for having.
No
It's
problem.
okay. It's okay. Everyone
Yeah, it's going to be kind of tough because both Johan and Josh up in the top have their names displayed, so I'm not worried about that. But I'm so used to calling it's Raikou Rider, and like I've known your name for a while, but it's just Raikou Rider for me.
Yep.
But if we're all good, then Mr. Johan, you are good to start.
All right, I will draw. As was my right. And I will play Humble Tapped Savage Land, but it gets me all my colors, so I will not complain and pass.
Card return. We're gonna play a Rafine's Tower and pass the turn.
Oh man.
I will draw. And I'll just play a basic island and pass.
Got it. Okay, so we had one person not hit. I'm going to play an Oran Reef, the Vastwood. It will enter tap. So we had one person not join in on the tap land. So no Soul Rings turn 1, but I am done. Musing Melodist, you are up.
All right, I'm going to play a Forest and pass.
Card return. I'm going to go for a Polluted Delta, go to 39. I'm going to get a Surveil Land of some kind. Meticulous Archive.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to have after I resolve my Surveil trigger.
So no spells yet. Interesting.
Deck, there's my Meticulous Archive.
Taco Tony, you pulled a Homunculus Horde. That card is interesting to me, but I just don't know if it's like
So,
good to like over the
if
top.
I may,
Sure.
I had an epiphany on that card.
Yeah.
Because at first I thought it was no different than the new thing, the Drake Harvester or whatever it's called that makes the 2/2 Drakes or Talrand or some of these others, right? But actually I was wrong, because if you read it carefully, it doesn't make a 2/2 Homunculus. It copies that card. The first time you draw your second card, now you have 2. The next turn that you draw your second card, now you have 4.
Yeah, it's like
So it
Spoon Sword.
multiplies.
I saw that.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't even pick up on that the first time, and then I reread it the other day when I was looking over my Tomio list, and I'm like, oh, hold up, wait a minute here. This is actually really cool.
Yeah. So it's blue Scoot Swarm.
It's compounding. Yes, it compounds. Now it's slower than Scoot Storm, but
It's definitely not as good, but it's like Scoot Swarm, where
it's pretty cool.
you play a land, you make 2, then you play another land, you make 4, you play another land, you make 8. Yeah. So, all right, we've blabbed.
Oh,
a little
sorry.
bit. Yep.
Raiko, can I go?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah,
We were just
I'm just
sorry.
resolving a Surveil trigger.
Okay.
Get out of here, Oversold Cemetery.
Interesting.
Combi Swarm is
I'm just gonna play another island and a lightning greave.
Lightning Greaves.
And it's gonna be it. Pass.
All right. I mean, the great artifact to have out on turn 2. I'll draw. I'll play Botanical Sanctum. Enters untapped because I do control 2 or fewer lands. And I'm going to play everybody's favorite merfolk, Thrasios, Triton Hero. And I'll pass.
No, you won't.
Oh, I attempt to pass.
Because in your end step, I'm just going to cycle this Baron Moor and draw a card.
Mm.
Now you may pass.
All right. Now you may untap.
All right, all right, all right. I'm going to play a swamp, and then I'm going to tap thrice and play a harrow. So I will sacrifice this forest, and then I'm going to get a forest and a mountain.
Doing anything with that forest and mountain?
That's a good question. Yes. I'll just tap them for a Sakura Tribe Elder.
Steve.
So,
Somebody's ramping.
and that's turn.
It's card for turn. I'm gonna play a base.
Where's Harrow in chat when you need him? And Harrow just
Yeah.
you call.
Wait, for real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's right there.
I'm gonna play a basic swamp, but
That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna cast Sefris of Hidden Ways.
Sefris has entered the battlefield.
Hope you're doing well, Harrow.
Always nice to see you, Harrow. Good long time.
Go ahead.
Harrow was around
What's it-
since the inception, since I started streaming. Like before I started streaming, Harrow was around.
What's it like having a card named after you?
Right. If I were Harrow, I would play Harrow in every deck just because.
Well, okay, I will say this. What's it like having a good card named after you? Because there is an Is It card called Johan from Wilds of Eldraine, and it sucks.
It's not bad, but it's.
But it's not good.
You can look at the top card of your library, and once each turn, you can cast an instant or sorcery from the top.
There's just better versions of it.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, we keep right as Little Wings about
Sorry.
to keep talking.
Oh no, is it okay?
Yeah, I passed.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
played my commander and passed.
I will play another island. And I'm just gonna tap one to opt, scry one and draw a card.
Mhm. Try and get a swamp, I assume.
I'll keep it on the top and draw it.
Perfect.
And then
It didn't even occur to me you're missing a color.
oh, I've got it. I just I'm saving it.
She doesn't want to beat us too badly, giving us an extra turn.
I'm gonna pass after that. I'm good.
Alright. 2 blue mana open, suspicious. Untap, upkeep and draw. Alright, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'll play Command Tower, and I'll tap 3 mana, and I will just play Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. Uro enters, he was not escaped, so he will immediately sacrifice himself. But I will gain 3 life, draw a card, and put a land from my hand onto the battlefield, which will be an island. I cannot do anything else. I'm not going to attack, and I'll pass. Yep,
I will
sacrifice him.
Sakura, Tribe Elder. I'm going to grab a swamp.
I mean, that's not even indicative of a counter spell. I know that. I know that race very well. They have a lot of flash creatures.
Mm.
Especially that Alela wants to. I mean, not that Alela's out yet, but that one wants to play on.
Other
Not your
people's
turn.
turns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right. Untapeth and draw. Not quite liking my options that I'm seeing yet, so I'm gonna start. I'm gonna tap this mountain. I'm gonna go faithlessly looting. So I'm gonna draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards.
You should also faithlessly set your commander.
Oh shoot! I thought I was ready today. I was ahead of the game. There we go. So. I'm gonna discard this forest. And I'm gonna discard. Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna discard don't see myself playing this anytime soon. Titania, Protector of Argoth.
Titania is very cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed to put her in the bin because
So that must mean the rest of your hand is pretty fire.
I just feel like it's not what I'm trying to go for right now. I will then make this easy. I'm going to tap 4. I'm going to get out Coram and then land for turn. Actually,
I have no creatures in my graveyard.
I have 1 Uro, so Crom's getting +6/+0.
sweet. So he's a 6/5. I'm just going to play a tap land, Underground Mortuary. I will leave that on top and pass.
Guard for turn. I'm going to play a Reliquary Tower, then I'm going to tap 4, and I'm going to cast a Seasoned Dungeoneer. So I'll take the initiative.
Remind me, taking the initiative works similarly to Monarchy, right? Like if we deal damage to you, we can take it?
Correct.
Okay.
Combat damage, yes. So I'm going to. This is why I said if you have the token for the Undercity, I recommend you get it.
I'll pull it up. Because right, when you take the initiative, you only move through the Undercity.
Correct. You venture into Undercity specifically.
Because when you venture into a dungeon, you can choose between what is there, like 4?
3. There's the Lost Mine of Fendelver, the Tomb of Annihilation, and the Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Got it. Okay, I have the Undercity pulled up. Pretty good. I mean, the first one, Secret Entrance. Search your library for basic land. Put it in a hand. Yep. All right. Yeah. I want it.
All right. Then I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to attack Azo with my commander for 2. It is going to gain protection from creatures. And then Sefris will explore.
Yep.
It is a land.
So just 2.
So that land will go to my hand.
Yep. 2 commander.
So you take 2 commander. Then I am going to proceed to the end phase. I have a Reliquary Tower. That's actually unfortunate because I want to discard this card.
Yeah, that would be pretty good for Sefris.
Go ahead. I'm like,
the
wait.
one time where discarding at the end of the turn would help.
I want to discard this card. Plus I would get to demonstrate an obscure magic rule.
Okay, I will play a
That rule being the second cleanup step. Because when's the last time you've seen a second cleanup step happen in Magic?
I am gonna cast Alela and put the boots on her.
Yep.
And Jared,
You can just call me that guy that you're gonna swing at.
He is the host. It is tradition.
Now's my
It is.
chance.
It's tradition.
I will swing at you for 2.
Alela's flying, and so I'll take 2 more commander from Alela.
And then Thrasios is goaded.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no. Thrasios, no.
Well, wait, is Hakbal out?
No.
Oh, okay. Yep. So
Thrasios,
Thrasios.
my son. He's just a boy. He's just a 1/3.
Not for long. He's gonna be 6 feet under.
Yeah, right. Pretty much. All right. That's
He's gonna get some nice Italian slippers.
Davy Jones.
He's gonna be sleeping with the fishes. That's your turn?
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, you're good. All right, untap, upkeep, draw. Doesn't save him. Okay, well, we might as well get in the party. I'll tap 4, and I will play Hakbal. The problem with fish is that rarely do they fly. There's a couple in here that do fly. There is a merfolk that gives all merfolk flying, but obviously not out. So, I have no mana. I will go right to combat, and both of my creatures will explore. Fingers crossed for a land. Thrasios explore. It is Tatiova Benthic Druid. I really want to land, so Tatiova's going to go in the graveyard. And Thrasios will get a +1 counter. Now Hakbal will explore, and it is a Roiling Regrowth that can help me get a land, so I will leave that on top. All right, Thrasios is
and then I believe Hakbal
Gets a 1/1.
gets a 1/1 counter also.
Thank you.
Oh,
So one of the best things about that is actually now Rise creatures a 3/4, and Thrasios is a 2/4. So I'm gonna swing 2 damage at Raikou.
Doop.
And I got nothing else. I will pass. Missed my land drop in a green deck.
Tap and draw.
Exactly. Azo knows exactly what sound effect I'm thinking of.
All right.
Just the little doink one, and not the one that the upright makes when it's hit.
So I'm gonna skip my pre-combat main phase, and I'm just gonna go to combatuals.
Yep.
So Raikou. Excuse me. I'm gonna swing at you. We all mill 1 card.
No, bro. Come on.
You knew this was coming.
No.
I got a Ramanat Excavator.
I lost Swords to Plowshares.
Oh,
I'm gonna take 6, and you'll take the initiative.
I want.
So now you
Cool.
venture into Undercity, and you get to search for a basic land.
oh, okay, cool. I have it pulled up. I forgot it happens right away. So, all right, it goes to hand. Got it. All right. I'm gonna grab. No, I'm gonna grab a forest. Sure. There we go. It goes to hand. Cool. So now, for the remainder of this turn, I may cast a spell or play a land that entered from a library this turn.
And notably, that doesn't let you cast with different mana.
Correct. No exotic orchard out.
You
That's
got
fine
the
though.
Regrowth from me if you.
Oops.
Like obviously you do have green. Oh, bottom. I'm like so close to just saying your name. Little Wing in the bottom right. Did you mill one from Coram attacking?
oh, sorry. No. Mill it.
Yes. Whenever
Yep,
Coram
just mill
attacks,
one card.
each player mills 1 card. That is the malleable imposter. Flash flying. Well, I don't think Johan has blue, so he can't cast that anyway.
Oh, okay.
He can cast a card that entered the graveyard from libraries, but he has to pay the colored mana. So right now, he's got his Ramanamp Excavator and my Roiling Regrowth.
Okay.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap 4, and I'm going to play from my hand Winter Misanthropic Guide.
Oh,
So it's a 3/4 with War 2. At the beginning, it's a group hug card. kind of. Beginning of my upkeep, each player draws 2 cards. You're welcome.
Okay.
Oh, that's
But
gross.
then he has Delirium. So as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in my graveyard, each opponent's maximum hand size is equal to 7 minus the number of those card types. So I have a creature, a sorcery, an instant, and land. So I have exactly 4 at present.
So basically,
So your maximum
that's good.
hand size is 3.
Oh, that's going to overwrite my Reliquary Tower. That's not good.
I'm then going to play a command tower for turn. And then I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to play Azo, your Roiling Regrowth. I'm going to sacrifice
Does
this
get
forest.
exiled, or do you just play it and it goes back to my graveyard?
I think it just stays in your graveyard. It doesn't say anything about
it goes
exiling
back
it.
to your graveyard.
Okay, copy.
So then I grab 2 basics. I'm going to grab a mountain and a swamp. And then that's it for me. So then to you, Rye.
That winter's really gross.
I think this is the first time I've gotten them out, or close to it.
So because that entered after my Reliquary Tower, my maximum hand size is going to be 3. Because timestamps are a thing.
Mm.
I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
We'll go. Why does that damn thing have ward? Ugh.
I know, and it's got ward too.
That's agitating.
He's a 3/4. Hey, I want that initiative real bad, you know?
I'm deciding if I want to like.
I mean, you
Get
can
an amp-
make your commander get protection from creatures, so you can at least take it back.
That's not the issue. The issue is I need Winter dead.
Oh yeah, I guess you can't try and make Johan block when your creature has protection.
He wouldn't block with Winter anyway.
You never know. I might be chaotic that way.
Well, while Raikou thinks, we have a chat from Harrow. Let me make sure I can read correctly. No, I heard the word
I
user
really
team
don't.
based on... No, Harrow, if you're referring to NFL teams, which I think you are, heard right, upright. Who's your team based on your local? You're guessing Vikings, but
Nope,
that entire
I'm just gonna
area is
draw a card.
wonky, and you could be a Browns fan. No, okay, so I'm actually, when I follow the NFL, I am a New England Patriots fan. When I was young and impressionable, one of the first NFL games, and I can recall it so vividly, I watched New England play the Jets, and Tom Brady destroyed the New York Jets, and I was like, holy crap, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I've been a New England Patriots fan ever since.
I'm gonna cast Tama Pashar.
Sure.
So all my rooms trigger twice.
Oh, very cool.
I'm going to go to combat, and I'm gonna attack Johan for 2 unblockable.
I will take 2.
So it will explore. That's a Ledger Shredder.
Very good.
That's
card. One of my
really
favorites.
Ledger Shredder is really good. I think I want to keep that on top.
It's very good for that deck.
So then Sefris will get a +1/+1 counter. Then I will take the initiative back, which means I get to go to the Forge. And room abilities trigger twice, so I'm gonna put 4 counters on my Seasoned Dungeoneer so that Johan's commander doesn't come at me. This is so disgusting.
Otaka, you do have a consistent Monday off. Yeah, I usually stream on Tuesdays just because I like to take Monday slow, but I'm going to be gone for a few days the rest of the week, and I knew Raikou was free, so I did want to like get in, instead of just canceling, I did want to get a game in. So yeah, Taco, if I know you're free on Mondays, definitely we'll try and plan a week where we stream on Monday.
1, 2. Boy, this is so bad. I really don't like Winter.
Well, yeah, he's the worst for you because you have no max hand size. Not anymore.
I am more of a fan of Autumn.
So
Not gonna
I'm gonna
lie.
proceed. I'm gonna just sadly proceed to the end phase, and I'm gonna discard Shadowy Backstreet, and I'm gonna Numa, Vetted Pools, and Brazen Borrower, which is going to trigger Sefris, so I'll venture into the dungeon, and I am going to make Johann lose 10 life.
Oh,
Oh,
Right, because the room ability is triggered twice.
Yeah.
Target player loses 5 life. Dang.
Go ahead. That's what you get for making me discard down to 3 cards.
Hmm.
Winter, you're not worth it.
Raiko, you didn't want to use the petty theft from Brazen Borrowed.
I couldn't because it would cost me 4 mana.
Oh, because
Yeah,
of the
'cause-
ward.
mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
That was what was complicating things.
I missed that. Okay.
So
Yeah,
now-
I had to reread the card, and I'm like,
The nice thing here, Little Wing, because you have flying. I don't think Rai has flying. You could take the initiative from Rai and go get a land. But
you could, yeah, you could.
Wait, and how do you take initiative? Just attack?
you have to deal
Deal combat damage to me.
Combat damage? Okay. Alright. This is the only land I can play. Watery Grave, so I'm gonna have to take 2.
Season Dungeoneer is so good.
It really is.
Oh, jeez. Oh, sorry. I never untapped.
You're
Sorry. Okay, well.
Well, Captain Poland, Winter will have Ward 2, so Little Wing will have to pay 2 mana in order to goad Winter. And I think, in my opinion, you take the initiative, you get to search for a land, you could goad something really strong of Raiku's. Obviously, you just put 4 counters on something, make him attack either me or Johann, sends a big damage swing somewhere else. Or, yeah, I mean, Little Wing could goad Coram, who's really big. Could goad Winter to try and remove it, but a lot of different avenues. Goad Hakbal, but I'm probably going to attack with Hakbal anyway. Keep goading Thrasios.
I'm not sure.
You don't want to get rid of Winter because you might have to discard, but on my turn you get 2 free cards.
Johann. I don't like Winter either.
Funny enough, I'm actually not super worried about Winter right now because my hand is kind of junk and I'd like to see some extra cards. So right now, Winter is not really on my radar.
Well, all I'll say is you have blue and I don't, so
We all have blue and you do.
Winter may call for aid.
Hmm.
You want those cards. From the sounds of it.
See, Winter is actively affecting both Rai and Little Wing, and like I said, right now my hand is not great, so I'm not super focused on Winter. Likeness Looter, flying, draw a card, so funny enough, tap it, loot, pay X, Likeness Looter becomes a copy of target creature in your graveyard with mana value X, except it has flying and this ability.
I should play that in this deck. That card's good.
It is really good.
I mean, I am sad about my imposter in the graveyard.
It looks
Okay,
like
so
you
if I
got another one.
swing at Aiko, I'll get the initiative and I'll get to search for a land.
Yes. So, just to remind everyone in chat, like how the Undercity works just like the Monarch. So when you deal combat damage to someone with the Monarch, you become the Monarch. But with the Undercity, it's a special dungeon. So each time you take control of the Undercity, you will move through it. So that's why Raikou was saying to like pull up an Undercity token on like a, you know, your phone or like a different browser. Yeah, Johan drew his. So it's got, you know, a bunch of different things that you can choose. And the first one is only one option, is search your library for a basic land, reveal it, and put it into your hand.
I am gonna do that. I'm gonna swing at Raikou.
I take 2 commander.
Yeah, for 2. And then can I look
Look at
for
that.
the land right away?
Yes, you will do that.
Yep.
Well, you'll do that after you deal combat damage and successfully take the initiative. But before you do that, you do have a goad trigger off of Alela.
So
Oh, I can put it up in the in the command zone. And Taco Tony, I can add.
who are the 2 untapped ones that
You get 1, not 2.
I mean
Just
who
asking which creatures are untapped.
yeah. which one-
Seasoned Dungeoneer is the 7/8 that whenever I attack, it makes target attacking cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard protection from creatures, and then explores. And then Hama Pashar is a 2/3 that makes room abilities of dungeons I own trigger an additional time.
Yeah,
We'll
that
go
was
with the first guy, I think.
good
All
tip
right.
from Taco Tony. You can add a second card like a partner, and then you can just search up the Undercity, and you can just have it displayed right here on spell table. That's
Oh,
nice. Looking
that's
out,
really
Taco.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's goaded, and then I'll start my dungeon.
Yep.
Yes. And I'm sorry,
And-
I was talking and typing. Who the goaded creature is the bigger one? The white.
Dungeon.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Okay.
goaded creature.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'll pass.
3 open mana. Maybe that's to take out Winter.
Okay.
Who knows? Untap, upkeep,
Okay.
draw. Ooh, I like that one a lot. I do like that one a lot. So let's.
You're welcome. That wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, I know my ramp. You know.
Well, you would have had a shuffle after it too.
I'll pay 3, and I'm gonna play Svelin of the Sea and Sky.
Valen. That's a card.
Like Svelin a lot.
That gives all Merfolk Ward.
Yes, so Svelin of the Sea and Sky has indestructible as long as I control at least 2 other merfolk, which I do. Whenever Svelin attacks, I draw a card, and other merfolk I have ward 1. Still gonna miss that land drop though, but we're gonna go to combat and we will just go down the line. We'll have Svelin explore. It is a land, yay! Goes to hand, no counter. We'll have Thrasios explore. It's Shamanic Revelation. I am going to bin that for now because it's just some extra card draw and my board's not that big yet. Then Hakbal will explore. It's another land. That will go to my hand. I will go to combat and I really want the initiative because it's fun. And Musing Melodist will probably swing at me to get it, but I don't care. I want it. So I will go to combat, and Little Wing, I will ask you, am I going to have to swing both Thrasios and Hakbal? Or if I just swing Hakbal, will you take 4 instead of losing a creature and taking damage?
Was this a trap?
No, I'm just. Do I need to swing 2 creatures at you? Like, will you block 1, or can I just send 1 creature at you? You keep your looter, and then you don't block.
Azo just wants the initiative.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
I'm asking, will you block?
Go ahead. I'll take
Okay.
4.
I'll swing with Hakbal.
Swing with Hakbal.
And then Hakbal has an attack trigger that says that whenever Hakbal attacks, I can put a land from my hand onto the battlefield, and if I do not draw a card, I will do that. I'll put out an island, so it's just 4. And then Little Wing's taken 4. I will take the initiative, and I will search my library for a basic land. I'll go search for an island. Put it in my hand. Shuffle. And now, I have not played my land for the turn, as my land was put out by Hakbal, so I will put out another land.
Real quick, Little Wing, did you discard, or because your hand size was currently reduced by 4?
That's
Did you
right.
So should your max is 3?
No, thank you for reminding me.
Okay. I'll put back like that. Put that into my hand. I will play Forest. So our hand size is 3, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I will just tap 3 then. I'm gonna play Kumena, Tyrant of Orazca.
That's a scary card.
Mm-hmm.
I am completely tapped out. I will go to my end step. My hand size is 4. I'll discard 2 cards.
It's 3.
My
3.
hand size is 3.
It's reduced by 4.
Thanks a lot. My hand size is 3, so I'm gonna discard Beast Whisper. I'll discard Cauldron of Souls. Ooh, we're kind of cooking with lands now, so I'm actually just gonna discard the island. So I have 3 cards in hand, and I will pass.
All right.
Well, now we draw a couple.
Yes. Now.
And we all draw 2. And then I will draw for
I'm
turn.
gonna set the Monarch. So I'm setting Monarchy, but that's just for initiative, just to keep track. So I currently have it. Yeah, Taco Tony, all the dungeons can be pulled up that way. Yeah, that's really nice to know.
Interesting.
In chat,
Okay.
how's it going? Hope you're having a good night.
Ooh. Okay. This is tough. So what is Thrasios's
He is a
power toughness?
2/5.
As nice as it'd be to get the initiative, I kind of need some heat off my back, especially from Rye. So I think maybe I'll let you keep
I'll let
it.
you hit me with Winter for the initiative, because I don't want Rye to attack me.
I have something interesting in my hand, but I'm just not sure what to do with it exactly. Actually, maybe I do know. One thing about drawing 3 cards, my entire plan kind of was upended.
Drawing 3 cards will do that.
I think I can do this.
You know, the more you, well, sorry, Johan, while you think, just let me know when to stop. But I was just, I just had a thought. Winter is very similar to Nekusar in a way.
A little bit, except he doesn't punish card draw specifically.
Right,
it's a different
card draw.
way round.
Right, but he gives you extra cards, and then he limits your hand size. So I could see like I mean, you don't have access to blue, but like there could be maybe like a cool draw punish deck around Winter. That might be an angle.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, keep going.
So I'm gonna play a Humble Forest return, and then I'm gonna tap it, and I'm gonna cast a cool spell I've never gotten to cast, but it is Traverse the Ulvenwald. So the top part lets me search for a basic land. However, it has Delirium. If there are 4 more card types among cards in my graveyard, which we know there are, I can search for a creature or land, reveal it, put it into hand, then shuffle.
Tutor? Yeah, Traverse the Ovenwald's good.
So I am going to grab, I think, actually, I had one thing in mind, and now I'm seeing other things I forgot were in here. Shoot. Maybe I'll do the more interesting route here. This wasn't what I was originally planning, but I've used the other line a few times when I've played this, so I'm going to go for this instead. I'm going to grab Strong.
Okay. That's just going into your hand.
So, yes, goes to hand, but I do have to reveal it. So he's a 7/7 with War 2. Whenever he's dealt damage, I get 3 rad counters, and then I put 3 1/1 counters on him, and then I gain life rather than lose life from radiation.
So many things with Ward.
Yeah, no, I'm just realizing that.
Yeah, it's Ward Tribal over there.
I think I'm going to tap for 6, and I'm going to get Strong out. And I've got 2 mana left. Yeah, I think I just pass.
Oh, on your end step, Johan, can I do something?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna tap a swamp and island to play Obira, Dreaming Duelist.
Ooh.
To make
So-
a 1/1.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a 1/1, and her ability whenever another fairy enters the battlefield under my control, each opponent loses 1 life.
That will not trigger because the ability that gives you the fairy will resolve before Obira does.
Okay, but I still get the fairy, right?
You still get the token. We just won't lose a life because
Got it.
because Obira won't be on the battlefield at the time the fairy enters.
Okay, got it.
Because Alela is a cast trigger.
That makes sense.
So we're safe this time.
This time. That was it.
All right. Card for turn. Play a Morphic Pool. I'm gonna go to combat.
Mm-hmm.
Azo 7
Yep.
can't be blocked.
Yep. I will go to 32.
I'm gonna head to the archives. Well, I have to explore first. That's a Dungeon Delver, which I'm going to leave. This card is very strong. It's another Hamapashar. So then I drop. So then well, this will go up. Then I draw for the archives, and I draw for the archives again. Then do I have a way to get through? So I have the initiative back. I'm gonna spend 2. I'm gonna play this Ledger Shredder.
Ledger Shredder.
Then I'm going to spend 3, and I'm going to play this Propaganda.
Mmm.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, it was from the Heads I Win, Tails You Lose Secret Lair, I believe.
very cool.
So, because I cast my second spell, Ledger Shredder will connive. So I draw a card. I will discard... Man, as much as I don't want to do this, I really would like to finish this dungeon. So I'm going to discard this Midnight Pathlighter, and I'm going to venture into the dungeon. So I go to the Throne of the Dead 3, which will trigger twice. So I reveal the top 10.
This is one of those I'm taking over the game turns.
Well, that's pretty good. So I put a creature from among them onto the battlefield with 3+1/+1 counters. It's going to gain hexproof until my next turn. It's going to be a Radiant Solar.
Yep, we are very familiar with this card thanks to Lion.
So I shuffle, and then because Radiant Solar entered, I get to do a few things happen, actually.
Yeah, you can venture into any dungeon, and you'll do that twice.
I also completed a dungeon, so I get to return a creature.
Yep.
But the dungeon we're going to go into is the Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Okay.
So I'm going to gain 1 twice. Then I get to resolve my Sefris trigger, which is going to return Midnight Pathlighter to the battlefield, which is going to cause me to venture into the dungeon. So I get to scry 1 twice.
This man's cooking.
Kind of want that on top. So then I get to resolve the second Throne of the Dead 3.
Yeah.
Which
and
will be...
there are 3+1/+1 counters on the Radiant Solar, so it is a 6/9.
That's correct. So the 10 cards are... not great. Just the Glenelendra Archmage that I put there. Like, that I knew was there.
Just to let everyone know, Rai has not spent a single mana. Or no, you casted your prop and Ledger Shredder, so that's at least 5. But to do all of this was all because he's ventured into the dungeon. So no mana was spent in doing all of this.
And then the Ledger Shredder itself is going to have a counter from conniving because I discarded the Midnight Pathlighter. So then this gets shuffled, the rest of this gets shuffled, and then because Glenelendra Archmage entered the battlefield, I get to venture into the dungeon. We're gonna go to the Goblin Bazaar, and I'm gonna make 2 treasures. Let me just shuffle up here. I think I have a treasure token. Yeah, I do. So I have 2 treasures. Then I have to discard the hand size. Boy, I'm not happy about this either. I'm going to discard... This does not make me happy. I'm going to discard Sea of Clouds, and then I'm going to discard Force of Will.
Okay.
Force of Will is... Yeah, I'm done now. Force of Will, as it turns out, is not very good when your maximum hand size is 3.
That's fair.
So Glenna,
I was gonna say that's surprising otherwise, but I guess that makes more sense.
you have 3 mana up. You have 1 from your Ravine's Tower and 2 treasures.
That is correct.
Okay. And then your turn is over.
And the Midnight Pathlighter also has 3 +1/+1 counters and hexproof until my turn.
Yes. And I'm sorry, where did the Glenalendra come from? Because
It came from the second Throne of the Dead. The second Throne of the Dead 3.
I thought the Radiant Solar came from then Midnight Pathlighter came from
Midnight
Sefris.
Pathlighter doesn't have the
Yeah,
counters.
right,
I'm
right,
sorry.
Okay. Oh, but Glenalendra does.
I'm sorry, Azo. A lot happened.
Yeah, I was trying to plan out my turn, and knowing which creatures have hexproof really sucks.
Okay, so yeah, it's the GEA and the Radiant Solar that have hexproof.
Yes.
The goaded creature swung at Azo, so
Yes.
I should have the initiative.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah, so I have the initiative back.
Thea's in chat. What's going on, Thea? You're a little late, and
Thea?
you just missed a giant explosion mega pop-off turn from Rye.
I'm gonna play a swamp. And
Yeah, I think I've played this deck on Lion's channel once.
Lion also, so Lion
Sure, that's-
Sefris is built around zombies, but I've seen some of these cards like Hama, like the Midnight Pathlighter, Radiant Solar, and so like I've seen this happen before. So like yeah, I'm very aware of what Sefris does. It's
Oh, this one's different. This just goes all in on the dungeon mechanic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't do the initiative. He does like the dungeons. So yeah, but I think the initiative is cool.
Thanks for the GL.
I think the Undercity Ultimate was a mistake in game design. That's for sure.
Oh, I thought you meant it was
Like, most of it's not bad.
part.
No. Most of it, not that bad. But a one-sided Breach the Multiverse for free is kind of busted when you think about it.
I mean, but like, when you think about it, you have to work through all of those steps.
Yeah,
So-
it's 5 rooms. It's 5 rooms. It's a lot of work.
And sorry,
It is.
Little Wing is.
But I'm saying
Break Hippocamp. Very good.
yeah.
Oh, very cool card. I love that card.
That card's neat, yeah.
Yeah, especially for a flash deck for sure.
Okay, so
Now, Rye does have 2 huge flying blockers now.
right.
If you did still want to goad, I mean, you can goad either myself or Johan, but I think I don't like to, say like, okay, let's all 3 team up, but I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna say let's team up, but I'm saying it may not be advantageous to harm me and Johan at this point. But you make your
No.
decision.
There is also a propaganda.
Yes, Rye does have prop.
That one is we can't do any target him.
No, so we have to pay 2 colorless mana for each creature that attacks Raikou.
Okay, got it.
I also have 3 flying blockers. There's also a Ledger Shredder.
All right,
Also, I would just pull your hand back just a little tiny bit. We can't make out
Oh,
any
sorry.
cards, but I did see like the front of them, so I just want to warn you. Not enough to let you know what your hand is.
No, okay. I don't want to do this, but I'm just gonna do it and then I'm gonna do Blightwing Bandit.
I used to play Blightwing Bandit in my Toshiro Umezawa deck. I like this card.
I play it in my fairies as well. Trigger Ledger Shredder for your second spell.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll draw. Then I'm going to discard Shriekmaw, which is going to cause me to venture into the dungeon.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna go to the lost level and scry 2 twice. We're gonna go top, bottom, and then scry 2. Top, bottom.
Alright, I'm done after that, and I just have
Okay.
2 cards.
I will tap 3 Merfolk and draw a card at your end step. And then I will untap, upkeep, and draw. Wow, okay. Alright, I think I'd like to see all of my options before I do anything. So I will just go to combat and I will explore down the line, get Hakbal out of the whiteness. So we'll go Thrasios first. It is Voidalian Hexcatcher. It's not going to save us right now, so that's going to go in the bin. Thrasios will get a counter. Kamena will explore. It is a Deeproot Historian. Gives Merfolk's Retrace, so again, not going to save us. That will go to the bin. Kamena will get a counter. Svelin will explore. It's a Harvest Season. Goes to the bin. Because those lands enter tapped, yes. So Svelin gets a counter. Now Hakbal will explore, and it is an Arcane Denial. That is something. So Hakbal will get a counter. Not
Counter spell on top.
Yeah, and so the only thing is, like, I'm trying to play around the Glenelendra. And I think I have an idea. I'm going to let Arcane Denial go to the graveyard. Okay.
Interesting.
So that was me going to combat. Well, I can't counter the Glenelendra ability. So
Sure.
I'm going to go to combat, and I would at least like to attack with Svelin and Hakbal to draw more cards. Does anyone have anything that can survive? I mean, Svelin's indestructible. So
I've got a 7/7.
yeah, if I swing at you, Johan, with Svelin, you can block with Strong and get some stuff from it, right?
It gives me some value, so I'm more than happy
And then
to do that.
Little Wing, are you okay with blocking with like a 1/1 token if I attack you with Hakbal?
I'll do it for you.
And
Yes.
hang on, we each lost 1 life because Little Wing had a fairy enter on their turn.
Correct.
So sorry, I'm at 31.
Thanks.
32.
All right,
27.
so I will confirm attacks going at both Hakbal, 5/5 at Little Wing, and Svelin, who is a 4/5 at Johan. When Svelin attacks, I draw a card, and Hakbal attacks, I can put a land out. And if I don't, I'll draw a card. Okay.
Strong's got Uranium Fever. Got some rad counters.
I'm not going to put an extra land out, and I will just draw a card from Hakbal. Wow. Okay. Damage has gone through. Strong got counters. Little Wing blocked with a 1/1. Okay. Second main phase, I will play a Hinterland Harbor as my land for the turn. I will tap 2, and I will play a Simic Signet. And after that, I am going to pass. My hand size is still reduced from winter, and I'm going to discard. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of what I drew on my turn. Land, land, land.
Oh my
land.
god.
Oh,
I'm gonna
that
discard
sucks.
4 land.
Well, maybe I can maybe help you with that.
Yeah. So I'm done passing to you.
All right.
And I will draw
Untap.
2 cards.
Upkeep. We each draw 2 cards. I'm starting to feel your pain a little bit, Azo. Untap. Upkeep. I draw my normal card. And then, as I go into my pre-combat main phase, I do Captain Poland's favorite thing, and that is get radiation sickness. So I will mill 3. It is Undergrowth Recon, Demagoth Titan.
You put counters on strong for how much damage? Oh no, it's just whenever he
Nope,
kills
it's 3 and 3.
Just
Yeah.
3. Okay. Good. Never mind.
Demagoth Titan, and then a Violent Tumor. So that's 3. So I'll lose my 3 radiation, but instead of losing life, I gain life because of strong. And y'all should know that Demagoth Titan is an 11-10. So my commander now has 11 power.
Okay.
Also, an enchantment has entered my graveyard, so my delirium count is 5, not 4.
So
now our
size
hand size is
reduced.
2.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Also, those 3 cards I can technically cast on this turn. One of them, if I so choose.
You know, I like how originally Winter was kind of the we were all really worried about Winter reducing our hand sizes, and Winter's now made it 3 turns around the table.
The card draw, I feel, is a decent balance. Because it's like, you might have to discard a couple cards, but then you get restocked off your turn. So they kind of get replaced, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I have a play that'd be cool, but I feel like it's kind of a waste, so that I probably shouldn't do that. Actually, hold on. I have an idea. This is going to be cool, I think. I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to play a Tato Farmer. So, he has Landfall. Whenever land enters a battlefield under my control, I may get 2 red counters. I'm then going to tap for 5. And I'm going to cast Traverse the Outlands. I search my library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the greatest power among creatures I control, which is 11. I put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. The tapped is the sad part. But I will see if I still have 11 basics in my library. I don't think I have that many, but I'll have close. So, try to make this quick here. There's 1, 2.
That is a terrifying amount of mana.
That's if we lived. I mean, we're still all really healthy life totals, but I'm thinking Rye is gonna have
3,
a good turn right here.
4, 5, 6, 7. That's right, I have a bunch in my hand, unfortunately. So 7 basics are coming onto my hand. Now remind me again, so Tato Farmer says whenever a land. So does it get 7 potential triggers of the landfall, even though they're coming in at the same time?
Whenever a
Yes.
land, they will all enter, and
Okay.
you'll see them entered as separate.
Just wanna make sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give
1 or more lands. Then it would only
True.
be 1.
Alright, I just want to double check. So I'm going to give myself 14 radiation.
That's very okay. Okay. Hold on. With strong out, that's nuts.
I feel like this deck is my most chaotic, and I'm just embracing it at this point. So, alright. Sadly, they all enter tapped, and I don't have Spelunking out. If I had Spelunking out, ooh boy, this would be fun. Only got 1 mana open right now, which sucks. So, I feel like I should attack, but there's
I think
nowhere
you played,
safe.
Johan, you played Tato Farmer and the Traverse the Outlands this turn, right?
Yes.
I need to connive then. That's a mandatory trigger.
Yeah, I've got nothing I can currently.
I'm gonna put Junji into the bin and venture into the dungeon, and then I'm gonna make 4 1/1s.
See, that's the thing is with all of his flyers.
Right, because like Coram doesn't really. He doesn't have trample or anything, so you swing, he just blocks with a 1/1. It's really tough to say like who to swing.
Yeah,
at.
or he just kills Crom.
Yeah,
but
right, 'cause the Radiant Solar's a 6/9.
The Radiant Solar is a 6/9.
To be honest, though, I guess it doesn't really matter because I don't have the mana to really cast anything out anyway. So attacking right now is kind of a moot point. So I'm just going to play a land for turn. Believe it or not, 7 lands came out, and I didn't play one. So I'm going to play a Raucous Theater. Enters tapped, and I surveil 1. I'm going to send this to the bin. It's an Arcane Signet. That's an artifact, which we don't have in my bin yet.
Oh
so
my
now
gosh, so
hand
now
size is reduced by 6.
So our hand size is 1. Wow.
Yes, have fun with that. And I will pass.
And a turn in Tomb.
Oh, Entomb. Okay, so you'll get another venture. And I'm assuming you'll tutor more or less. I think this is the point where you tutor your win con. Making the 14 rads was really cool, Johan, I will say. Like, Tato Farmer with Strong out, that was pretty sweet.
Well, like, normally I wouldn't have traversed there. That's a lot of mana for them to come in tapped.
Yeah.
But to get potentially 11 lands, and then I had Tato Farmer in hand when I got Strong, which is, I was ready thinking, like, oh, that's a great combo, you know? But
did you put
if I lose this, at least theoretically, you know, I basically took a dip in, like, the Thames or something, you know, and got all the radiation you could ask
Omega
for.
says you get 2 more rads because you played a land for the turn as well.
Oh, yes, thank you, Omega.
So the card I'm putting in my graveyard is going to be
Yeah,
Archon of Cruelty.
I like Archon's really good. But, Johan, did you put Strong and Tato Farmer in the deck specifically to combo together, or did you just put them in and, like, you didn't really notice the synergy until kind of, like, recently?
No, I did. When I was building this deck, again, I wanted it to be something unique to me especially, and part of it was not to use blue or white, because all my decks besides this one have blue or white in them at present.
So then I scry 3 twice.
But I liked the idea of introducing a little radiation because it's ultimately self-mill.
Yeah.
So it feeds my commanders.
Oh, I
options.
don't actually venture. I don't venture. Not yet. Sefris only triggers once each turn.
Oh, okay.
Plus, none of it has come out yet, but I actually have a number of cards that can bring back lands from my library. So even
now I'll
getting
drop
lands
right
in the
there.
bin from radiation doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
So the idea was, I think these are the only 2 Fallout cards I have in here, but the idea is little radiation helps fuel my potential cards to cast this turn with my commander, and then like if lands go in there, it doesn't really matter because I can get those back. And Strong, like you can see, I have tons of ramp in this deck, so 6 mana, not that hard to cast. He's a good blocker and only gets stronger.
Yeah.
Go figure. When he blocks. So
Marsh Flat's 31. I'm gonna go get a C. Like, all of Johan's creatures that I care about are legendary.
Oh, right. Midnight Pathlighter says that creatures you control can't be blocked except by legendary creatures.
Correct.
Funny enough, all 4 of my creatures are legendary, but 2 are obviously tapped.
hey, this Tato Farmer has got legendary.
Yeah, he has 16 reds. That's pretty legendary.
That and legendary flavor text. So I'd like to phone it in and say that
This
he's pretty
might
legendary.
get okay. So what I'm gonna do might get a tad silly.
Omega, you would do that. You're gonna make sure all your decks have a mill win line. That is something that you would do for sure. All right.
I'm gonna play a Dungeon Delver.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna go for... I'm gonna play
So that's just
Sakashima.
another copy of Hama. And now you're playing Sakashima as a copy of Radiant Solar.
Sakashima is a copy of Radiant Solar.
Okay.
So I'm gonna venture twice. So I scry three times. Bottom 2. Bottom 1. Bottom 1. And then I venture again to the Mad Wizard's Lair. So I draw 3 cards and reveal them, and then I can play 1 for free. It's White Plume Adventure, Asterek the Archlich, and Ravenous Chupacabra. So I'm gonna play the Ravenous Chupacabra. I'm gonna pay for the ward, and I'm gonna eat Winter.
No.
The Winter's been dealt with.
That was fun while it lasted.
Then we're gonna go back to the dungeon. We're gonna go back to the beginning of the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Game 3. Scry 1 3 times. We're gonna go. Keep it on top. This is my second spell, so so this card that I left on top actually should have been explored, I think. Or not explored, but connived. So I draw it, and then I discard so many triggers. Even before that, I actually have to resolve my Sefris trigger because I completed a dungeon. So that triggers after the first Mad Wizard's Lair resolves. So I have 2 more of these to resolve. I have the 3 scry ones to resolve. And then I think after I scry 1, I have to venture twice.
I'm just trying to. The reason why I'm being silent is because I know, Rye, you have a lot of triggers to go through, and I don't want to mess you up by trying to talk. So I know there's a lot of things that are gonna be happening for you.
That is one issue with playing this deck, is keeping track of the stack is very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 2 ventures on the stack.
And an Archon of Cruelty.
The Archon of Cruelty is being cast right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the 2 ventures are coming from. I also remember I still have 2 Mad Wizard's Lairs I have to resolve. Those are on the bottom of the stack. So I think I'm gonna, for my first venture off of Solar, make 3 more treasures. So I have 4 treasures. Resolve the second venture, so I scry 2. I want this card in my graveyard, not in the library. So we'll leave 1. Scry 2 the second time. I'm gonna leave them both. I do want to leave them both. No, okay. I'm gonna put one on the bottom, and then the third scry, top bottom. So now there is a second Mad Wizard's Lair to resolve. So all the ventures are done resolving.
Okay.
So draw 3, reveal them. I can cast one for free, which is going to be a Sun Titan.
Oh, like in chat says, venture into the dungeons turned into a Lord of the Rings trilogy extended.
So there's 2 solar triggers and a Sun Titan trigger. Sun Titan is going to return. Honestly, probably just a land. So I venture for the other solar. So I make 4 more 1/1s. So I have 8. So I have 8 1/1 ground pounders.
I'm assuming, knowing you, right? Like you. So I mean, you can be honest. You know, at this point, like, do you have usually like a win line that you go for in this deck, or is it just kind of like barf out the creatures and then like try to go to combat, or is there a certain like everything's unblockable, a Chroma's Will type?
It's mostly just like a value engine.
Okay.
But there are going to be quite a few attacks this turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I made those. I get to scry 3 times. All bottom. All bottom. Two bottom, 1 top. So then we resolve the last Mad Wizard's Lair. So we draw these 3. I'm going to cast Nadar.
How do you spell his name? Is it Nadar?
Nadar.
Ah.
So now I have 3 ventures.
Is his +1/+1 for each dungeon you've completed? Or
Not for each dungeon I've completed, if I've completed a dungeon.
Okay. That would be like super good if it was each dungeon you completed. That'd be great.
So to be able to try to like actually do damage to people, I think I'm gonna switch dungeons when I go to the next room.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
to try to actually do some
deals 10 damage or like 5.
It's only going to be one at a time, sadly, but
Yeah.
I have triple dungeon room triggers, so I can actually start doing damage.
So back to the Undercity, or is there a different one?
I can't go to the Undercity. I have to take it's going to be the Lost Mine.
Okay.
So I have 3 more draw 3. So after I venture for the first time, I have 3 more draw 3s to resolve, which I think I'm just gonna probably end up like just drawing these cards and not casting any because of just nonsense. Yeah, so I'll just draw these. Just to like just so that I don't take like a half-hour turn. So the first one resolves will be the cave entrance. So I scry 1 3 times. Bye. I don't need Heuristic Study right now. And then we'll go to the mine tunnels, and we'll make 3 more treasures. Alright, so now with all this nonsense actually resolved finally, now I have an Archon of Cruelty trigger that needs to resolve.
Okay.
So, I kinda want, now that winter's gone, I'm actually gonna point this Archon of Cruelty trigger at, I'm gonna point this Archon of Cruelty trigger at Little Wing.
Okay.
So you have to sacrifice a creature or planeswalker, discard a card, and lose 3 life, and then I draw a card and gain 3 life.
Okay. I will sacrifice Likeness Looter. And click and lose 3 life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then I'm gonna head to combat, and I'm gonna start attacking with this stuff. Okay, so the Sakashima can't attack. You have... Johan has 2 legendary creatures. Like, everybody has legends, so the Midnight Pathlighter really isn't doing much.
Yeah, Johan has 2, Little Wing has 2, I also have 2.
So we're gonna go for the Seasoned Dungeoneer at Little Wing for 8. It's gonna gain protection from creatures. The Solar is gonna go at Johan for 6. And the GEA is going to go at Azo for 5, and the Ledger Shredder is going to go at Azo for 4.
Okay.
And these all fly.
Okay.
Well, the Dungeoneer doesn't, but the Dungeoneer is unblockable.
Yeah. And you're not attacking with anything else. That you're just sending 2 at me, 1 at Johan, and 1 at Little Wing. Correct.
I think everything else either is like ground or it's summon sick, because almost all of this is summon sick. And these are all +1/+1 also from the DAR, because I've completed the dungeon. So it's 9 at Little Wing. It's 5, 8, 9, 10, 11 at Azo, and 7 at Johan.
I was hoping... Alright, so confirmed attacks. I was hoping that this could do a little bit more, but I don't know. I'm afraid if we get back to Rise turn, he might have the game with all the value. So I'm just going to go with my original plan. I'm going to try and tap 2 and re-sculpt Glenelendra.
That exiles it?
Yes.
I'll counter it.
Okay.
So then I venture 3 more times, I think. No, it's 2 more times.
Just so I make sure I'm playing the turn correctly, Glenelendra will come back with a -1 counter on it, correct?
Correct. And then the Radiant Solars will trigger.
So where... My window to respond to the Glenelendra not being on the battlefield, is there a point where I can do that?
Yes, there is a persist trigger.
Okay, because I would like to respond to Glenalendra coming back.
Okay, so GEA persist trigger on the stack.
And then I'd like to pay 4 and Aetherize and return all attacking creatures to their owner's hand.
Oh, that will get the counterspell out of my hand.
Okay. I mean, that was my plan from the beginning, but yeah. I tried, everyone. I basically chumped my entire turn to save up enough mana to try and do that, so countered.
Yeah.
Okay, so then GEA comes back. I venture twice. I'm going to visit the Dark Pool 3 times. So each opponent will lose 3 and I will gain 3.
Okay. And then you'll probably have to just give us damage numbers one more time.
And then I get to draw 3. And then because I completed a dungeon, I return a creature from graveyard to battlefield, which is going to be Junji. And that's going to trigger my Solars 2 more times. So I'm going to wind up with 3 treasures and 3 Scry 1 triggers. So the damage totals are going to be... this should be 3 counters. So Azo 5, Johan 7, and Little Wing 9.
Yeah, I took the 9 and then plus the 3 more.
Yep.
As did I.
And then
I took 7 and then 3.
Yes, I've already taken my 3, so then my 5. I'm at 23.
I bottomed 3 with the Scry 1 triggers. And then because I dealt combat damage to each of you, I get to venture 3 times. So I'm going to go to the Dark Pool again. Each of you will lose 1. Each of you will lose 3. I'll gain 3. I'm going to draw 3.
Yeah, Rye is
because
certainly bringing it this game, fan.
Because I completed the dungeon, I get to return a creature, which is going to be this... it's going to be Shriekmaw, which is going to shoot the... it's going to shoot the strong, and I'm going to pay 2 for the ward.
Oh my gosh, Spell Table really thinks that Shriekmaw is Rain of Tears. It's done it 3 times. Shriekmaw.
I was getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shriekmaw enters, destroy non-black artifact creature.
Well, it was a fun idea.
So then I have
works, but now you have 14 rad counters.
So then I have 3 ventures. Top. Make 3 treasures. And drain each of you for 3.
3 more.
Okay, the stack should be empty now. And then after combat, I'm going to spend 3 of my treasures on white mana and then play a White Bloom Adventurer. So I take the initiative. I already have the initiative, so I'm going to draw 3 more cards. Return the last creature in my graveyard, which is a Brazen Borrower. Go back to the beginning. So there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 ventures left. Bottom, top. Make 3 treasures. And drain each of you for 3. Stack's empty again.
Go to 14.
Then I will just pass the turn and untap all my creatures.
Alright, so I think it's pretty clear here that we basically have 1 turn to throw everything we have at Rye, because I think even without going to combat, just draining us for 3, I think Rye's got us on combat if we don't kill him.
Yeah, because there's also 8 1/1s.
Yeah, usually, again, I'm not usually one for like, hey, let's all team up on one person, but I think at this point in the game, it's pretty obvious writing's on the wall.
Yeah. I'm also not used to this deck popping off this hard.
So it is Little Wing's turn right now, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
It is, yeah. If anybody needs to know, I have 25 cards in hand.
Oh, because winter's gone.
Yep.
That's part of why I killed him. I don't want to discard 22 cards. Or 23 cards, but however many.
That was impressive.
Also, if you're wondering, there is a third dungeon. It's called the Tomb of Annihilation. We never go there.
Sounds scary.
This is the reason why we don't go there.
I'm pretty sure Azoreign is from that actual campaign module. That could be the
It is.
I've never
It
played
is.
it.
It is. Azoreign is also the reason I can't play anything in here that reduces the cost of creatures, because then I can go infinite with him.
Yep, that's a line that Lion has discovered as well, that he also doesn't play Azoreign.
I play it, I just don't play anything that makes creatures cheaper.
I feel like I can do more by not playing anything on my turn.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pass because I want to draw a card.
Got it. Alright, I will untap. Upkeep
Do
and
I have
draw.
any tap
Holy
abilities? I do not have any tap abilities.
Alright, I'll just tap 6 and play... Actually... might be better to tap 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And play Orin Frostfang. Attacking creatures I control have Death Touch. Whenever a creature I control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's all I can do for now. I'll go to combat and start exploring. So Thrasios will explore. Thieving Skydiver. Nope. It's not Cyclonic Rift. I don't want it. 2 mana. Bridgework Battle. Nope. MDFC. Super amazing. I love all the MDFCs, even the ones that seem kind of useless, like, you know, Bridgework Battle's just a fight spell, but you can have it enter as a land, or you can have it be a removal spell. So
Yeah, I love those.
Svelin. It's a land that will go to hand. Hakbal. It is Nizal Primal Tide. Again, doesn't save us, so Nizal, you're hitting the bin. Alright, I will go to combat, and I don't really have anything else I can do, so I'm going to full swing at Raikou. All of my attacking creatures have Death Touch. When Svelin and Hakbal attack, Svelin's going to draw me a card on attack, and Hakbal is going to let me put a land out, and I will put an island out.
So I'm going to put Ravenous Chupacabra in front of... your creatures are all really big, right?
Yes, sorry. Thrasios is a 5/7 Kumena.
Okay, if that's the smallest one, I just want one of my creatures to die so I can venture.
Yep.
Kumena
is a 4/6. Svelin is a 4/5, and Hakbal is a 7 or 6/6.
So I am going to block with Ravenous Chupacabra and 3 tokens.
Okay.
They will all get obliterated because a creature was put in my graveyard. I get to venture, so I get to draw 3 cards. And then because I completed a dungeon, I get to return the Ravenous Chupacabra, and I'm gonna eat Johan's commander.
Oof.
Wow.
So then I get to go through the rigmarole again. That'll stay. Make 3 treasure. So I have 12. And then drain for 3.
Yeah, it's just any non-creature spell I play is just gonna get countered with the Glenelendra, unfortunately. Oh, actually, sorry, you have Propaganda, so I guess in order for that to actually have happened, I would have had to Beast Within Propaganda, but you have Glenelendra. So actually, I couldn't have attacked you with all 4. Unless you want to just let Beast Within go through and I destroy Prop and then nothing changes.
Like, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, I have, my hand is, I drew 2 more lands. Like, what
And
the
I get
heck?
and I get to use the best beast token in the world. Have you seen this?
No. Oh,
This is the
wow.
RK
Okay.
Post beast token.
Nice.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'm out. I got, oh, well, technically, no, you blocked with your token, so none of my creatures have trample. I'm assuming none of them dealt combat damage, so I won't draw extra cards. So
Correct.
I'm done.
Do something on your end step?
You could wait until Johan's end step if you'd like,
Oh,
right before Raiku's turn.
Okay.
Well, I might not get an end step, so there's a good because of how many lands I have out.
Oh yeah, shoot.
Because of how many lands I have out and the lands in my graveyard in hand, there's a good chance I lose 11 life right now.
Little Wing
Oh
has
right, because you
multiple
have don't you have like
Oh,
16
the red
radiation?
corner.
14 radiation.
You should have 16 because you had 14.
16. Yes, that's right. Sorry, 16.
So okay, all right.
So there's a good chance I
Let's
die in right here. So I would do it during Azoreign's end step.
Yeah, go
if you'd
ahead,
like.
Little Wing. Just do it during my end step to just make sure it goes through.
Okay, so now
Yes.
can I just pay 2 to Eaten by Piranhas on Glenelendra?
So the thing is, unfortunately, Glenelendra counters any non-creature spell. So unless you can counter Glenelendra, if you think back to my turn when I played Aetherize, I first targeted Glenelendra with Resculpt to make Raikou sacrifice it, and then I casted Aetherize because I knew Rai would counter Aetherize if I just played it. So
So I would have to be able to counter
either
the counter?
counter
You have
it,
to you have to bait the GEA is what you have to do.
Yeah, you either have to counter the ability or you have to remove Glenelendra and then play Eaten by Piranhas. Or else Raikou can he's got 20 treasure tokens and Glenelendra...
I have 12 treasures, yeah.
Okay, 12. And then Glenelendra is 1 blue and sacrificing it, and he counters any non-creature spell. So yeah, that's
So
just where it's...
bouncing it wouldn't back to his hand.
Bouncing it would work, but again, he can technically, well... Yeah, I mean, bouncing it would work. Because then he'd have to either sacrifice it to stop the bounce and then he loses it, or he lets it get bounced and then it's in his hand.
And this is still during Azo's end step.
Yeah, this is right before Johan's turn.
So don't do it.
Honestly, I think, honestly, again, if Rai untaps, I think he's going to win the game. So if you can do anything, you might as well do it now, just because I think, unfortunately, unless there's a Cyclonic Rift somewhere waiting to be cast, I do think Rai's...
Hold on, I'll go grab one real quick.
Yeah, just put it in your hand, please.
With one blue
Alright, then
mana.
I'll try
Let me
to...
grab my Chilean deck.
Can I petty theft? Return target non-land permanent.
Yep. So targeting Glenelendra, correct? And then you'll make a fairy, and then we'll each lose 1 life.
51. Yeah, I'm just gonna let the petty theft resolve.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, either that or you just counter it, and then Glenelendra dies anyway. So Glenelendra is now in Raikou's hand, and then are you going to cast Eaten by Piranhas to enchant something on Rai's board? I mean, You could. He's got 2 copies of Radiant Solar. He's got the Hama, and he's got the dungeon. To be honest, you could enchant Sefris, and then it kind of limits a little bit.
It does because then I can't reanimate everything when I can't reanimate something when I complete a dungeon.
Yeah, so honestly, if you wanted to cast Eaten by Piranhas right now and then try to enchant Sefris, well, hang on. What
And
you
wait
should,
to do it on Johann's?
yes, you should respond to Johann's end step, and you'll make another fairy.
Assuming I get an end step.
Well, or sorry, upkeep. So my turn is done. I pass to Johann. It goes untap, upkeep, draw. You can respond to Johann's untap step and now cast Eaten by Piranhas.
Well, it would be during his upkeep.
Right, you
But, yeah.
respond to the upkeep.
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay, so Eaten by Piranhas targeting Sefris, right?
Yes.
Okay,
So then that turns him into an 0-1, I think.
yes. Or no, 1-1.
One. Okay.
And then we'll
yeah.
each lose another life because Little Wing will make another fairy. Speeding up Johann's death even farther. Alright, now we are at the main event. We are going to resolve 16 rad counters.
Oh, I'm
no, we're
sorry.
not.
Sorry. When
Untap, upkeep, draw.
Hang on 1 second. And oh yes, Little Wing, you'll draw 2
I'm
cards. 'Cause
I'm
you
hypocrite.
Yes, you casted one on my turn and one on Johann's turn, so yes, draw your 2 cards. Alright, you're good, Johann.
Oh boy, alright.
I need to connive.
I upkeeped, and now I drew, so unfortunately,
go away, land.
unfortunately, I have to enter my pre-combat main phase now and deal with this radiation I gave myself.
Johann,
After connive triggers.
Johann, we missed another
Yes.
trigger off from Little Wing's Blightwing Bandit. Whenever Little Wing casts their first spell during each opponent's turn, look at the top card of their library.
Oh,
So you would get 1 card from me and 1 card from Johann.
so the card I drew. Where did it go? There it is. I was really hoping this would go in the bin at some point, but
So let's see. Look at the top card. You may exile it face down. So I mean, oh my gosh, look at this. Okay, you got Lord of Extinction.
I'm looking
and
away.
Coma. Oh my gosh. So if Little Wing gets another turn, Little Wing can cast. You may play the card for as long as it remains exiled and spend mana as though it were mana of any type. So you just exiled like 2 of our best cards from both of our libraries.
this is supposed to be my graveyard.
So those are exiled, and Little Wing can play them.
Alright.
And
So now I draw.
Rad triggers, yeah.
Of course I draw a land, which I needed
Mhm.
for my radiation counters, but alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I lose 13 life, and I'm dead. The radiation got me. I had no rat away,
Oof.
No rat
no rat
away.
X, and I die. As did a good stack of my cards. I don't know if y'all saw. I may or may not have spilled the delicious drink I was drinking right on my graveyard. So they're dead. But there's 2 deaths this day.
All right, and you're at 12, Azo.
Yes.
All right. And I have 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, I have to venture also because because I still have the initiative. I don't return a creature, and I'm currently not in a dungeon. Where is my way to venture into the Undercity? Because that'll be the easiest way.
Well, I mean,
There should.
how much before? I know that Little Wing's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers, but If you have 12 damage flying in the air, I'm dead. And then you can focus everything else into Little Wing. If you...
Yeah, that'll be the simplest way, because I have the Ledger Shredder, which is 6. I have the Ledger Shredder and the Solar, which is 12 flying.
Yep, so that kills me.
It's 14 flying at Azo, actually, because the Nadar.
This will call back completely to the beginning of the game when Little Wing first attacked me with her commander for 2, and I said, yep, the fish don't fly, and I'm now being killed by 2 flyers.
And then
I'm gonna just sit and like wait for your turn to play through before I like just start packing up. So, but just knowing that I'm basically I can't do anything.
And then for Little Wing, I have 9 unblockable from the seasoned Dungeoneer, and then you have a total of how many legendary blockers?
2.
2.
Then just the skeletons.
Right.
The skeletons, the beast token, the chupacabra, and the shriekmaw should be plenty.
Yeah, so the Midnight Pathlighter makes it so only legendary creatures can block, and so you block 2 of his biggest things, you're taking 9 from the Dungeoneer, and then all the other little things ping you, unless, I mean, Little Wing has 2 mana. Maybe there's something.
Honestly, I don't have anything.
I think Rai cleans it up right there. And I die. And Sefris takes the crown.
Congrats.
Good game,
This this deck snowballs just so incredibly hard.
Well, I hope, Little Wing, that you had enough fun to rejoin the channel on a later date.
Was fun. It was fun to watch all the dungeon things.
It is fun to just...
I never seen it get like that.
But something that we like to do here that both Johan and Rai know about, but Little Wing, this will be your first time, is that we like to choose 3 cards that we felt were most impactful throughout our game and set them aside, and then just kind of not really recap the game, but just talk about 3 cards that we felt were fun to play, basically. So we usually go in elimination order, and we let the winner go last. So it'll go Johan, then myself, then you, Little Wing, and then Raikou is our victor. So he will end our time here, and then we will call it a night. So as my opponents are finding their 3 cards, I will just say thank you to the viewers. We've had about 10 viewers, almost the entire stream. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you who are chatting. We had Thea, Taco, Omega, Captain Poland, Harrow made an appearance. It's a lot of fun streaming for you guys, so I appreciate when you guys are watching and chatting. It fills my heart, and really glad that we could put on a good show for you guys. So thanks for coming to hang out with me on a Monday night as we play some Commander. But I think I didn't really do too much this game, so I think I have my 3 sectioned out here. And Johan, you were the first death, and I see 3 cards set to the side. So Johan, when you are ready, you can go ahead and talk about your 3 most impactful cards.
Yeah. Once again, thanks Azo for having me back. I know
Always a pleasure.
I was away for a while, so I haven't been on in a few weeks, but appreciate coming back on. Little Wing, I know we've played in person, but it's been a long time, so it's good getting the game with you. And same for you, Rai. I know it's been a while, but it was fun. Congrats on the win. It's a really cool deck, very well optimized, and I always enjoy seeing well optimized decks, or decks with good optimization. So without further ado, my 3 cards. First, it's got to be Winter. I don't know, he just seemed cool when I was building this deck, which is why I put him on the list. I'm like, well, with all the self-mill and other stuff that's happening, good chance I'm going to have the Delirium, and it feels like a good way without blue or white in the deck to kind of slow my opponents down, and it really paid off. And even though I'm feeding cards to my opponents, because it kind of balances out with the reduced hand size, and on top of that, it also helps fill my hand, which is huge because these colors aren't necessarily the best at drawing cards. Second would be the Traverse the Ulvenwald. This is the first time I got to cast it. Strong probably wasn't the best pick there, but then, to be honest, I'm not sure anything I could have grabbed would have saved me at that point. Originally, I was going to get my Limera, because I had like 3-4 lands already in the graveyard. He was going to come out, mill 4, put all the lands out, and he would have been a big blocker and or attacker. But again, I don't think... Actually, in retrospect, Strong was the better choice, because I theoretically could have gained a bunch of life. Unfortunately, that did not happen because Strong was dead. But really cool card, and I think in a deck where where you're going to be having lots of cards in your graveyard and lots of different types, I think is really strong because it's basically a cheap worldly tutor. Mm-hmm. Last but not least is going to be Tato Farmer, my demise. I decided to go full Monty, take all the radiation. I was just really hoping Strong would stay out there. That was probably wishful thinking and dumb on my part, but I was having fun. I wanted to go balls to the wall, so to speak.
The Tato Farmer
it's a fun card.
Play and also the reason for your death. So yes, it deserves the final spot.
Yes, for sure. So, but thanks again, Azo, for having me on. Congrats again, Rye. It was always a pleasure. So.
Yes, I always love having you guys on. I'm glad I got to see Coram. I've only seen this deck a couple times, but I think it's a really cool idea. I like that he can play cards from everybody's graveyard when he mills them. And, I think Coram was cooking, you had Uro in the graveyard early, so he was big early. And then I think like Raiku's value, if it was just a line graph, it just went like almost at a 90-degree angle. And then we kind of just like couldn't keep up, and Rai was able to close out the game there in like a couple turns. So, yes, but it was a good game, and I'm going to go next because I died to the combat damage before Little Wing, so then I'll go Little Wing, and then obviously Rai. I don't have much to say. My game was pretty slow. I missed 2 land drops, but my first card I played was Uro. Uro's like one of my favorite Simic creatures. Uro does everything that Simic wants to do. He gains you life, he draws you a card, and you can play an extra land. I just think Uro is cool. I played him early to try and get cards off the top of my library and an extra land out early. It didn't really work out for me, unfortunately, because I didn't get lands until late. And then all I was drawing was lands, but I still love Uro. I love his mana cost, his power. He's got the escape. Uro's really cool. Next is going to be Svelin. Again, just another merfolk that I really like playing in this deck. It gives board-wide protection. It gives Ward 1 to all merfolk, and it can gain indestructible. And when Svelin attacks, I draw a card. So comboed with Hakbal, letting me set up the top of my library. Svelin can then attack to let me draw what's on the top. So Svelin's a very good choice for this deck. And lastly is just going to be Kumena. I was only able to activate Kumena once, because I just didn't really have a lot of stuff going for me, but Kumena's art style and just what he does for the deck, Kumena is kind of like the deck's first in line, like his first in command is Kumena, and if I would have been able to get more merfolk out, I think Kumena would have done a lot more for me, but he just deserves another spot on this list because it would have been either Thrasios or the Orin Frostfang, and they didn't really do anything, so Kumena is just here because I at least drew a single card with him. But those are my 3, and that's all I got.
Are we not supposed to pick our commander?
No, you certainly can pick your commander.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm
the
just...
most impactful cards for you.
I'm glad that nobody got rid of her because... I got to make my fairies and go a couple creatures. And then Obira, I always like having her because she just does that little 1 damage to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know. I probably should have played Eaten by Piranhas earlier. But I like adding like weird little things like this in my decks.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they come
on Eaten by Piranhas is really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, this I didn't really build this deck to be like super high powered or anything. I felt like I have a lot of answers. They just didn't come out.
Yeah, and I think your early game was very nice, especially little when you did get the lightning greaves out, which you were immediately able to boot up your computer, able to get the goad going a little early, which is really nice. You were able to goad Rye's biggest creature a couple times. You goaded Thrasios right away. And then you're right, is like your deck is operating at flash speed, so you're making the 1/1s, you're playing on other people's turns. Almost every turn you were holding up at least 2 mana, and I was joking when I said it, but you would pass to me and I'd say, okay, you've got 2 blue mana open. That's kind of like the joke.
I kept waiting for the right moment.
Yeah, and that's that's one of the strengths of this deck, is that you don't need to play on your turn. And I do think Obira, its effect is like considered weak, but if Obira is cheap and she comes out early, she also has flash, so she combos with Alela, and then when Alela makes you creatures, Obira deals damage, so it's a very symbiotic relationship. So I definitely, I would agree that Obira was one of your most impactful cards, because it did, towards the end of the game, when you think about it, I think throughout the whole game you dealt 6 damage to all of us, but when you add it up, it was 6, 12, 18. You dealt almost 20 damage to throughout the game, not to everyone, but that's a lot of damage for that one card. So yeah,
I was worried when Winter was limiting our hand size. I had other stuff I wanted to use, but I always like hanging on to her. So.
Yeah, I think Winter definitely influenced both you and Raikou a lot more than it did me by limiting the hand size, which certainly, I guess I didn't even think about that when your deck, Little Wing, is operating at flash speed, and Winter was basically really cutting down your options by making you discard 4 cards.
It was hard though, like as much as I wanted to get rid of Winter, like Raikou's stuff was just exploding, and I was like, oh.
Winter was somewhat keeping Rai in check for those first couple turns.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I mean, I discarded a Force of Will to hand size.
Well,
yeah.
As it was your first time on Little Wing, I do want to say I appreciate you willing to come on stream, making your first appearance. I hope that this is not the last. So again.
Oh, this was fun. It was fun. This was like one of the first decks that I mean, I love fairies, so I had to play this one. But I have other ones that I like too. So
that you want to get on? Yeah.
I hope I can come back.
Yes, we'll definitely plan a time for you to come back. But now it is time for Raikou to take his victory lap and talk about his 3 cards.
So first is Hama Pashar. Hama Pashar is an absurd card in this deck, doubling all the room triggers, which most of them do little things like let me scry or make treasures. I knew the bottom 21 cards of my library at the end of that game. That is how much scrying I was able to do through the Lost Mine, the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, because the Dungeon of the Mad Mage does a ton of scrying, and just doubling the end room, or the end of dungeon triggers, was really crazy. Being able to, both with the Undercity and with the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, putting a creature onto the battlefield, and then being able to put another creature onto the battlefield with my commander wound up being really crazy. The second card is Seasoned Dungeoneer. This is the first time I've ever gotten this card to really pop off. The reason why Seasoned Dungeoneer is so powerful is the unblockability on this card lets you guarantee that you're going to be able to get the initiative as long as you can protect this card. And then, of course, there's Radiant Solar, which is the heart and soul of the deck. You want to try to get to this as quickly as possible, because this is one of the few ways you have that will let you venture into the dungeon more than once per turn.
Yep.
And with so many of the dungeon finales that let you put a creature onto the battlefield, whether it be from your hand or the top 10 cards of your library, letting you venture again from the solar itself, and bringing a creature back lets you venture again. You can go through multiple dungeons in one turn very easily, which is what happened at the end of that game.
Yep.
And it especially pops off with all of the non-legendary clones. This deck is playing all 3 of the clones that make non-legendary copies. The way it maths out is you actually want to have the same number of copies of both Sefris and Radiant Solar.
Because it only triggers once each turn, and they're both different like triggers. Is that what I'm getting at?
Correct.
Right.
Because then this lets. It's also that Sefris will let you revive 2 creatures instead of 1 whenever you complete a dungeon,
Sure.
and both of these kind of feed off of each other because the Radiant Solar gets you closer to completing a dungeon, and Sefris rewards you for completing a dungeon.
Yeah, I would definitely say those were the cards that I was assuming, but nevertheless, good game, Raikou. Congratulations on your victory. It was well earned. I appreciate. Sometimes you think is like, oh, why couldn't the game go on a couple more turns? But to be honest, like you got a lot of value out, and then I actually appreciated that you even said I'm gonna switch dungeons because now I'm gonna go into the dungeon that deals damage, and you were like drain 3, drain 3, drain 3, drain 3, and we all went from. I think the lowest life total before that was like 31, and you drained us all down below. I think Johan was at like 19. I think Little Wing was at 20, and then I was at 23. So you took all of us down from almost 40 to all of us being
down
almost under 20. So, it's like, oh, I don't want the game to be over, but I think that was the complete correct move. You were dealing damage to all of your opponents. You were still going through the dungeon, and then you got to a point where you ended the game. I had no flyers. You could swing out at me with flying, and then obviously I was a little surprised that Midnight Pathlighter wasn't on your top 3 because Midnight Pathlighter may have not like won you the game outright, but it did make it so that way Little Wing could only block with 2 creatures, and then you had damage on the board. So, but yes,
It was. If I could pick a number 4, it would be that. But I felt that those three had the most impact.
Well, I think that is going to do it for us here tonight. That was certainly a good game, just over 2 hours. Again, I'll say to my guests here, thank you all for coming on, Johan, Little Wing, and Raikou Rider. You guys are always supportive of the channel. You guys always come on and provide an excellent match of Commander. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being willing to come on and play some games. And the people in chat who are still here, thank you for sticking around. But yeah, that's going to do it for us here tonight. I will not be streaming again this week. Be on the lookout for next week. Hypothetically, could be talking to Taco Tony, and we could be streaming again on Monday next week. So be sure to check my Twitter, or if you're in the Discord, I will post in there for sure. But Raikou Rider and Sefris take the win on this one, and that is going to do it for us here tonight. So thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Peace out.
Have a good one.
Yeah.